All right, we are here for our third class of the Secret Power of Joy. It is my honor and delight to share this with you. And this has got to be one of my favorite modules, which is evidence of magic. If you know me, then you know I love magic. If you don't know me, now you know. Now you know my guilty pleasure. It is magic. So we're here for the Secret Power of Joy, evidence of magic, and we are so lucky and blessed to be joined by the amazing Kathleen Nora Bauer. She's going to be offering sacred astrology after our somatic in the body and joy practices today. So thank you so much. You can give a round of applause in the chat for Kathleen. Thank you so much for being here. And we are also joined by the amazing Inesha Paredes, and she is a psychic, intuitive, and tarot reader. And she's here holding sacred space for us. So if you feel this grounded presence around you, that is Inesha. And she's here holding amazing Zoom space. So she's the one putting in all of your prompts into the chat so that you can really feel held and supported. And what's very exciting about today's class is stay on till the end for our class 3 prize wheel, because we have a monthly MAPS energetic success session from Inesha. This is a picture of my energetic success session from this month. It was unbelievable. And I'm so excited for one of you lucky beings to win this delicious, delicious prize. Okay, so that's going to be at the end. So we'll have the prize wheel, and we'll also have what's coming up next. And I'm so delighted to be sharing about the Destiny Magic experience that's going to be opening up next week. So I'll just give you a little heads up about it. You can feel into if this is some delicious magic for you, and if you're excited to find out more. So I'm Anna Reidenbach. I'm a creative impact coach. I'm a transformational offering expert, and I'm a creativity engineer. And it is my great delight to be here with you. I stand for a world where visionaries, leaders, creatives, heart-centered entrepreneurs, and those who think outside of the box can thrive with your unique magic and gifts. And that's really what the Secret Power of Joy does, is it helps us get to this place where we are so lit up inside, right, that we can bring our magic and our gifts into the world. So we're inside our shared agreements. As always, we're inside of amplification and empowerment. We're empowering others. We're amplifying them in the chat. All of that deliciousness. We are inside of conscious connection. So we're going to encourage you not to put extra links in the chat so that everyone can be here in sacred focus. So if that's a yes for you, if you are a yes for these shared agreements, I encourage you to put a yes in the chat. Some sparkle fingers. Okay, we're a yes for our shared agreements. Amazing. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And so we're going to be looking today at joy practice number 2, which is our power practice. We're going to be reviewing that and then adding on for joy practice number 3. Before we do that, though, let's do our somatic practice. So just take a moment to arrive here. Okay, so you can just close your eyes just for a moment if that feels good. Just shaking off anything that happened in the day before now. Just allowing your body to relax. Maybe taking a nice deep breath in. Really allowing your sparkles and your brilliance and your energy to shine on the inhale. And then on the exhale, maybe you just let something go. Maybe you take one more cleansing breath like that. Really allowing yourself to breathe in deliciously on the inhale, expanding, taking up space in your own experience. And then maybe on the exhale, you really sigh it out or wiggle or shake in some way. And then from this place in your body, just noticing maybe something you're proud of yourself for today, or something you're celebrating yourself for, right? Or maybe it's a moment of joy or glimmer or sparkle or softness. Just noticing something you're proud of yourself for, or something that felt really delicious that you experienced recently. Just bringing that moment into your body. And then noticing how you know it feels good. How is your body letting you know Do you feel your shoulders going back or relaxing? Do you feel more alignment in your spine? Do you feel sparkles in your eyes, like there's more color? Do you feel space in your belly or your heart, or like a rising energy? So just noticing that moment of joy, or that moment you were proud of yourself for, or that celebration, and noticing how it feels in your body. Mm. Mm. All right. So we're going to talk about why this matters so much, but I just want to give you, I'm going to give you an example of this. I'm just going to stop the slides for one moment here. So my moment of the thing I'm proud of myself for is we had a Zoom hiccup right before this beautiful class started, and I calmly tried. So the sound went out, and I calmly tried 4 different microphones. None of them worked, and I was like, "Well, we just restart the room." And there was this ease in it that I don't always experience, because I love you guys and I want to create a beautiful experience for you, and that can put some pressure on me. And I just was like, "Well, here's what we do. Inesha can't hear me. I will type it to her in the chat." We communicated that way. We were like miming to each other, and we got here. And I know it feels good in my body, right? I can feel that I'm proud because my shoulders like are gliding down my back. They're not just going down, but they're going backwards. Like it's almost like my wings are pulling them backwards. I can just feel that my head is like so easy to hold up, right? Just have all this alignment in my spine, and there's just a lot of space in my belly and in my heart. So that's right. We can have these moments, and then paying attention to how they feel in the body is what gives them magic. And so I'm going to share why that matters so much. Right now, we're going to look at something we haven't looked at before. I'll share slides, but I'd love to know just in the chat what has been opening up for you from paying attention to your body, because we don't do this very often. We don't usually check out what celebration, what feeling proud of ourselves, all of this feels like in the body. So if you have a thought here about what you're learning, what is opening up for you from paying attention to joy in your body, I would absolutely love to hear. And it could just be a word, like how has your energy changed? Um how's your weeks changed? What have you been noticing? Aporajita says expansion and breathing in more. Yeah, isn't it amazing how we don't always let the breath go deeply into the body? So I love that. Dylan is experiencing more peace within. What are you experiencing as you tap into joy in the moment? Samantha, more presence in the moment. Janice, I'm starting to notice where I experience joy in my body, right? If it's in my heart, my head, my chest, my hands. Yes, beautiful. Marla, more calmness. Frankie, being more present in the moment. Michelle, more positive thinking. Isa, more able to naturally regulate the nervous system and be genuine. Yes. Shelley, more enthusiasm. Lavinia, awareness and deep appreciation, the power of simplicity. Kathleen, celebration that bubbles up in my cheeks. Gloria, more relaxation. Marie, more delight in the moment and where I feel it in my body. Elizabeth, I'm still noticing I don't feel anything, but I'm taking the time to listen and notice if anything changes. Beautiful. And that's a beautiful practice all on its own. Sylvia, Friday was tough keeping the joy vibe going, and I was able to recognize my behavior and held space. Yeah, and sometimes that's the thing we're proud of ourselves for. Has anyone like had a hard moment? Anyone besides me had a hard moment this last week? Seeing lots of hands go up, right? So we're not going to be enjoy every second of every day, right? And sometimes we can be really proud of ourselves that we noticed it, right? And like we're able to give ourselves some love or some space or some softness. So that is beautiful, amazing. Okay. Frankie, that I experienced joy while resting. Inesha, happy hum from my chest. Sonia, greater awareness of pleasant feelings, able to regulate authentically. Yes. Um, Mahishi, noticing the thought swamp more quickly and bringing me back to peace and inner smiles. And Linda taking time to be more present. Okay, amazing. So it's just so many changes. And I know that there's going to be so many more coming into the chat. Thank you so much for taking this time to share this with me. So let's look at why this is happening. Who would like to know like a little bit of deeper, like if you're feeling a little bit better as you do these practices, who would love to know a little bit of science of why that's happening? Okay, amazing. All right. So I was originally trained in somatic psychology, right? I have a master's degree in somatic psychology, and somatic means in the body, and it supports in aligning your three brains. Okay. And when I say brain, I mean areas that take in sensory information and help you make decisions. And we actually have brains in our hands and in our feet. And, we have lots of areas of our body that take in sensory information and help us make decisions. But the ones that tend to have the most influence are in our belly, in our heart, and in our mind. And so when these are on the same team, we tend to move towards goals with more ease and less struggle. So let me know in the chat if you've ever had a goal with your mind, like, I really want my business to work, right? And then your body's like, nope, I'm not going to be visible. I'm not putting out that offer. Or I would just love to be in amazing shape. And then you're up at maybe like 4 a.m scrolling on your phone instead of sleeping so you can get up and do exercise the next day. Anyone besides me ever had that happen to them where they you can put a yes for me in the chat. Yes, or raise your hand. Yeah. Okay. So what's happening, right, is we have these different areas of our body and our mind that are wanting different things. And when we can get these on the same team, we tend to move towards goals with much more ease and much less struggle. And so your joy practices are not only elevating your mood, but we have some secret magic in here that your joy practices are actually designed. I've designed these to create a connection between your three brains so that you have energetic coherence. Okay. So not only if you do these on a regular basis will you start to feel better, but you will actually have this coherence that's going to help you be able to take different actions in the world. And I like to call this body magic, right? And here's the interesting part of this. Joy and pleasant emotions, softness, excitement, whatever that is, are usually quieter than things like pain or hurt, right? Because they're wired in us for long-term survival instead of short-term survival. If we have pain in our body, we need to attend to that right away, right? It's very important. Something like, oh, that felt nice to me. That was a cute bird is lovely for us. It helps our long term thriving, but it's not necessary for right now. And so it's much quieter. Okay. And so as we give language to these emotions of joy or pleasantness or softness, it helps turn up the volume, right? And that's why we start to feel more relaxed, more regulated, happier, all of those things, right? Because we're turning up the volume on things that are already present, but we just don't pay attention to very much. And so your brain begins to recognize these signals of joy and is now like, ooh, oh, I like that. Yes, I would like more of that deliciousness. And you begin to create more opportunities to have more of it, right? And your body begins to understand what genuinely offers you heartfelt positive emotions, right? A lot of times we're doing things with the body from a stress response that are not actually making us happy. And your body's like, I know what actual yumminess feels like. And I'd love to help you have more of that. So the what we're using here is language, right? Language makes the unconscious conscious, right? So what we're not paying attention to, when we give it language, it's now we're aware of it. And as we practice naming joy, right, giving it language and it's heartfelt, we feel it, it begins to change our physiology. It regulates our nervous system, and this alters our energy and our frequency. We're available for more yumminess, more deliciousness, more opportunities. Okay. So when you give language, it seems so simple. I know it seems so simple. And like I was on antidepressant medication for over 2 decades. Okay. And this practice helped me release medication, which was the right choice for me. It might not be for everyone, but for me, that was the right choice. Right. And it was doing this practice every day. Okay. Giving language to the experiences we desire opens up our ability to create more of them. And so our 3-class series, right, Joy in the Body, Practicing Power, and Evidence of Magic, has magic under it, right? We're doing body set, mindset, and heart set. We're regulating, right, the whole system, connecting all of our brains. So I know it seems so simple and it's so delicious. I'd love to know if that just awakened anything for you, though. That's like big. It can really expand our minds to think in this way. So I'm just going to stop the share for one moment here. So if anything came through for you, like, wow, I hadn't thought of it that way, or that makes sense. Yeah, just let me know in the chat what opened up for you. Yes, Marla says it helps my logical brain understand the value of these practices, right? Yes, we can be so, we're like, oh, it's too simple. Like, how could this help? Right. And then we can really see it from the mind, from the brain and the mind, and be like, oh, that's why this matters so much. Yeah. Marie says the energy of more allowing joy and the happiness, right? Yeah. So more of those experiences can come in. Shelley, aware how much joy has not been present, right? And how much greater life is and can be. Thank you for these practices, right? There's so much of it around us, and right, we can tap into it. Um, just knowing that if all three are in alignment, my decisions and life get smoother. Says Frankie, yes, wouldn't it be nice if life could get a little smoother? Life is bumpy right now. So anything we can do inside of ourselves to make that smoother is delicious. Linda, yes, that makes sense to give words to what brings you joy. I love doing art. It allows me to think. Yeah, and I love that too. It can be. It doesn't have to be words, right? It can be art as well. So that can be another way to make the unconscious conscious. Amazing. Elizabeth, just the idea that we can align joy in our body once we start to feel it more. Yes. And Sylvia, I'm able to disconnect from my analytical brain, right? The analytical brain is like, okay, I understand why this is working. Okay, now like let me enjoy it. Okay, amazing. Lavinia says there are always joyful moments, I realize, but the overwhelming and the overthinking are shadowing them. So just practicing naming joy, love this, is like an act of self-loving. Yes, 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 yes. Okay. Tiara says, I've been looking for a way to get off of my antidepressants. It makes so much sense to train your body to recognize joy and happiness, right? As opposed to relying on medication to mask the bad thoughts. Yeah. And sometimes we need both of them, right? As we're training, right? And right, as we train that muscle, it's really a muscle, we respond to life in a much different way. So beautiful, beautiful. And I know there's so many more coming in the chat, and I will read all of them afterwards. I promise I will go back through the chat and read all of them. Thank you so much for sharing. Okay. This joy practice one, and Inesha is going to put that in the chat in case this is, thank you so much, Inesha, in case this is new for you, in case you're joining us for the first time, right? It's what's a small moment of pleasure or joy or softness or glimmer or sparkle, right, that you experienced recently. Or this one's sometimes easier when we're going through something hard. What's something you're celebrating yourself for or proud of yourself for today? Right? Because we can always be proud of something. Like I did the dishes, I went for my walk, whatever that is, we can always be proud of ourselves. Okay. And then how do you know? How is your body letting you know this feels good? Okay. So that's joy practice one. And then in last class, right, this was our body set. In last class, we ended with our mindset, right? Joy practice two, thinking of your moment of joy, pleasure, or sparkle. So you can just think. So you already came up with a moment, right? We did that earlier in the class today. So you came up with a moment. So thinking of this moment, right? What did you do to create it? What did you do to create this moment? What actions or choices made this possible? Right? And this is practicing power. You are seeing your power to create these moments, right? Maybe you made a choice to go outside. Maybe you made the effort to reach out to someone. Maybe you took the time to lay out your gym clothes. Maybe you honored yourself with a moment to be or notice what you were feeling. Maybe you said yes to an opportunity or no to an opportunity. So that is practicing power. We're noticing our conscious choice, right, in these moments of joy. And I want to share some from the home play. There were so many. I'm going to go over these briefly, but I was just so touched by everyone who did their home play. Okay, so we had moments of connection, right, with a partner or with a child. And it was maybe deciding to step out of one's comfort zone, right? My husband's invite to stand outside after a storm while lightning was still jumping around and the clouds lighting up the dark. Wow, what a choice, right? Magical moment with daughter. I welcomed her with my full attention. I was fully present with her. That's a choice, right? Resourcing oneself after a long day at work. I made the decision to not let the exhaustion ruin my joy, right? consciously choosing to focus in the light in my heart. This course found me at the right time. Thank you. And what I would say is, and you chose to do it. You also made that choice. Yes, it was made available to you, but how many people were it made available for who didn't make that choice? And so you made the choice to say yes to it. I love this one. I calmly spoke up for myself in a situation where I normally wouldn't. When I feel into it, I feel so much love in my heart, love for myself for doing that. And I also felt a grounding inner strength running through my core. I created this by choosing me. Yes, yes, yes. Um, we had inner child delight. Someone like was hanging out with some dogs and decided to roll in the grass, right? That was a choice, right? Peacefulness watching the sunset. I simply put on my jacket and stepped outside. How often do we not make that choice, right? So that's a choice. I made rice balls. And I'd been tending to these seeds for months, right? Of these leaves that have been growing. And I love this one, blueberry picking. I decided that today would be blueberry day, right? That's a choice, right? And I set aside time for it. So I love all of these ways that we've made choices. And I wanted to bring this one to your attention. I thought this was beautiful. So sometimes this is someone who's been going through some challenging moments. And I love this naming of the soft feeling, right? I think that's a really beautiful way. Sometimes it's not joy, it's just some softness. And she writes, I was able to find comfort in discovering that two other members of my family are also empaths. That discovery made me feel hopeful and soft inside, understanding that I had support for who could relate to the ups and downs of being an empath, right? And I'll bet to create that, you probably were brave and visible and told them about being an empath or shared some of your experience. So you made a choice to share, and that came back. So that's beautiful. And so, if anyone here is an empath or a sensitive, or you work with empaths or sensitives, your kids, your clients, your students, you're going to love the Destiny Magic experience. So, I'll talk more about that at the end, but it is very much for you if you are a sensitive or an empath or you work with those who are. Okay. And I almost didn't post this one, but I am getting better at receiving. And it made me blush, but I'm gonna name it here. A moment of joy I recently experienced was saying yes to one-on-one coaching with Anna. And I love this, right? The joy felt like a warm, fizzy soda can being gently shaken up and the top popped off. I created this by following my intuition. Okay. So if that's you too, if you've been feeling this pull for deeper work, we can always do a sacred gifts breakthrough session together. I have one spot for next month and one spot for the month after for one-on-one coaching. So if that is sparkling in your soul, I would absolutely love to talk about that. Okay. So with that, I would love to take a few shares in the chat, or if anyone would like to come off mute. Thinking about, we're really looking at what you did to create the experience. So this is less about the somatic here, and this is more like we're practicing power, right? We're strengthening our power muscles here. So thinking about the moment of joy, pleasure, sparkle, or softness. So thinking about this that you experienced recently, what did you do to create this experience? What actions or choices did you make? So go ahead and put that into the chat, or if you feel called to raise your hand, knowing this is on YouTube, so it will be public. So if you're like, yes, I'm ready for visibility, you can raise your hand. If you're like, I will post it in the chat, then post it in the chat. I'm going to stop this share just for a moment here. Okay. So, what did you do to create your moment of joy or sparkle or softness, or the thing that you're proud of? What did you do? So my moment that I experienced before was right restarting the Zoom room so we could all be here. And what I did is I focused on what I wanted instead of what I didn't want. I was like, I want an amazing class where we all get to be together. How can I make that happen? And that's what I did. I changed the direction of where I was focusing. Okay. So what did you do? Did you go outside? Did you speak up? Did you say yes to an opportunity? What did you do to create your moment? And Aparajita says, I enjoyed a nice Japanese lunch. What did you do to create that? Did you find the restaurant? Did you invite a friend? Did you like come up with the idea? How did you create it? Isa, these shares are evoking a soft rippling through my fascia. What pleasure. I co-created this by showing up today. Yes. And I get like sparkles in my shoulders. Yes, you did. D, I invited a friend to a surprise lettuce roll buffet, how fun, as an indoor picnic with 30 different prepared dishes and three dressings to roll up in prepared lettuce leaves. He so enjoyed it. He reminded me years later how much that surprise meant to him. Yeah. And what did you like? What was it like? Oh, I'd love to share this person love. Like I felt love in my heart for this person and I made effort to show up for them. Beautiful. All right. So, what did you do to create your good moments? Mm. Sylvia, yesterday I went to a sound bowl session at Bach Tower. Amazing. And what did you do to create that? Right? How did you create that experience for yourself? So Aporjita for her Japanese lunch says, yes, I asked my friends to join me at the summer fair near my home, before which we had the lunch, right? So you reached out to friends, right? You decided that you wanted something, that you desired something, and you actually took the effort to reach out. That's how you created it. Amazing. Romaine, I went to a bar with three friends and it was closed. So I suggested we go look at the moon as we were 2 minutes away from the seafront. Ah, yes. It was glorious orange. Everyone loved it. And I was running towards the moon with springs in my feet and my whole body was sparkling and tingling. Right. So, and it looked like what that sounds like is you chose to think about what you desired instead of what the problem was. Right. Like, oh, I want to have a good time with my friends. What else could we do? Amazing. Okay. Janice, preparing for a party, I asked for Motown music. My husband put on something else. I reminded him what I had asked for. Ooh, I get sparkles of like lightning down my arm with that one. He put it on and we danced, even though we were so busy. Yes, Janice, yes. Right. And so it's noticing, right, that we have a voice and can ask for what we really want. So I'm hearing a lot of noticing what we desire and asking for it, noticing what we desire and finding a way to create it. Okay. All right. I know more are going to come in and I will read through all of them in just a moment, but I'm going to continue on right now. So, here, this is for you, Marla, for your analytical brain, why this matters. Okay. So, first, we embody the joy, pleasure, sparkle, glimmer, softness, excitement, love, whatever it is, right? We feel it in the body, right? And then joy practice two, what did you do to create this moment? What actions or choices made this possible? And this comes from an exercise from called Three Good Things from Positive Psychology. And what happens when we notice three good things a day and what we did do to create them, our internal feelings of power increase. And this has actually been shown to decrease depression. Okay. So we're giving ourselves this power like, oh, I actually can influence the world around me. Depression, a lot of times, is that everything else around me is influencing me. Right. And so we're practicing power. We're giving ourselves agency and sovereignty. We're changing in psychology, it's changing your locus of control from external to internal. Okay. And I want to name this. We need systems to change. Like more than ever in this world, we do need systems to change. I firmly believe this. And yet, I also believe that when people have their magic, their power, and their energy, that truly miraculous things can happen for our world, right? When we have more energy, we have more to give. And so here's what I noticed in my work, it helps more when this is heartfelt. If we have a moment of joy and we take the time to feel it in our body first, or something good that happens, or something we're proud of, we can say what we did to create it, but if the body hasn't been like, oh, yes, yes, this is good, if we haven't had that first, it doesn't have the same effect. Okay. Then we're like, oh my God, that moment was amazing. And I created it. I created that. And that's what begins to align our brains. Okay. And that's why we start with joy practice one. So when I combined the body with the mind in this way, my clients naturally began making more money. They were elevated to leadership roles. They had better relationships. Like, it was really surprising to me how much these two things together made a difference for people. And so we need people in their power. So use this if you feel called. Use it for yourself, use it for your kids, use it for your students, your clients. My request for you is just, I'd be honored to have you credit me for putting those ideas together. So you could just say, here's an exercise I learned from Anna Reitenbach, and then share it with the effing world. Like yesterday, let's like have people in their power, have people in their magic. Okay. So I would love to know, I'm going to read some more of those, and then we're going to go into joy practice three. What are you learning or what's opening up from you from owning your power to create moments of joy. So that was what we practiced, right, throughout the last week, was owning your power. So has anything changed for you, right? Or what are you learning right now about learning why this works? What has changed or evolved or sparkled up for you from noticing your power? Or what would you love to change for yourself from practicing your power? Okay. So awareness, right? Maybe shifting lack of self-trust. Yes, we don't trust ourselves sometimes, and this exercise can help us. Gloria, I wonder what is possible. Yeah, right. What would happen if we started all doing this on a regular basis? I do it every morning, you guys, like a decade, and I can tell. I can tell when I don't do it. I'll be like, I'm good. Like I'm good. And I will stop and I'm like, oh, I'm not good. Like it's like it really is a muscle. So yes, what is possible when we do this? Limitless possibilities. My energy has increased, more vitality, willingness to step more joyfully into creative artistry as a way of living, loving, breathing, being. Yes, 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 yes to all of that. I'm going to read a few more of these examples from earlier because I love them. Helen, I also take evening walks and talk to the moon. And what do you do to create that, right? You make that decision. You notice what you desire, maybe. Lavinia, I decided to go for a daily walk and watch the sunset no matter how challenging the day was, right? You made that decision and then you followed through on it. Amazing. I love this one from Sylvia. My neighbor had mentioned she was going to an event a few weeks ago. I internally wished for the experience, right? So you made a wish, right? That's an action. That is an action. Turns out my neighbor had an extra ticket and invited me out of the blue. Yes, 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 yes. Okay. Marla says, I'm more resilient. Lavinia says, I am much more in contact with my body and I can stop when there is no resonance and create it consciously, right? We can notice more when we're out of alignment, like, oh, this is not feeling good. What can I do to create something different, right? Mahishi, being more aware of walking through different dimensions simultaneously. Yes, 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 right? Because when we have all of these brains in alignment, that is when I believe that spirit comes through. So amazing. Alignment by choice, joy, awareness, and what actions I did for empowering me. Thank you for this practice, more resiliency and less resistance. Amazing, says Sonia. Okay. All right. So, who is ready for joy practice 3? Yes, yes, yes. Okay. 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 Thinking of your moment of joy, pleasure, or sparkle, but remembering what it feels like in the body, remembering that like you created it, right? How did the magic of life itself, the world around you, or others in your life also support you to create this moment? Right? Because a friend reached out, because you live in a beautiful world, because someone made that thing, like someone made the microphone I'm speaking into, because someone came up with that idea, right? Someone like had an idea for a computer a long time ago, right? Someone picked that food, right? How did life or others also support in this beautiful experience? And you guys are all doing so good. You're doing amazing. And I'll read some of these in just a moment. So, this makes gratitude heartfelt. Okay. So there's a lot of positive research on gratitude, right? It changes one's frequency. It can go towards more abundance, right? We're able to take more things in. When we're genuinely grateful, more flows into us, right? It can bring money magic to us, even. Here's what's interesting that I found from working with a lot of sensitives and empaths, right? Empaths would strangely go into sadness or comparison when trying to practice gratitude. Their mind would say the grateful thing, but the body would actually reject it in a way because the premise is actually having something that maybe others don't. Like it starts to go to, oh, but that person doesn't have a bed, but that person doesn't. And it actually wouldn't support people in the way that it's designed to, right? And so this system can actually give deeper access to gratitude. So if you have a kid or a client or a student who's having trouble being grateful, it might not be because they're not grateful. It might actually be because it's triggering sadness for them because there's a lot of things happening in our world that we really wish would not be happening, right? And so just noticing that if we can come at it from the internal first, it can really open up. And then we can see the evidence of magic in the world and we can access it on a deeper level. And I just love this quote. The way you alchemize a soulless world is by treating everyone as if they're sacred until the sacred in them remembers. And I just feel like this practice that we do together is helping ourselves and helping others remember the sacred, right? That they can experience pleasure in the body, that they have the power to create that, and that they can see the magic, the evidence of magic in the world around us. Okay. So that is our beautiful practice. I'm going to take some of, if you have any insights, anything that's coming up for you, and I'll read some of those moments in the chat, but you can write any insights there as well. And then of course, we're going to have our prizes and all of the things. Okay. Romaine, I was skipping through a shop and I realized I'm so blessed that I can access my joy and enjoy more moments of joy, right? In a way, it's a skill. So it can be learned. Thank you, Anna. And even just being myself, cycling and singing on my bike, for example, hopefully people will see me experiencing joy and it will help other people smile and access joy too, a ripple effect. Beautiful, Romaine. Kathleen, people created art and beauty with their hands and shared it with the world so that we can experience it even centuries later, right? I know you've been doing this deep research into dragons and the histories. And so you've been really thankful that people have created this art centuries ago, right? Or hundreds of years ago. The weather beings poured blessings of rain on our land and skin. Yes, Lisa. Janice, friends brought instruments and played. Yes. Sonia, Anna, you didn't quit. You shared your practice that worked for you, and this is empowering me. I've shared the practice with my spouse, and it is connecting us in a deeper way. You doing this workshop is my joy number 3. Yes, this is such right. This is such a beautiful practice to do at the dinner table with a partner, with a friend, with kids. Like, imagine if our kids grew up being able to feel joy and pleasure in their body. What a different world we would be in. Yes. Okay. Okay, there's so many more here. And I'm going to just continue on because I want to honor our time and make sure that we have all this spaciousness for astrology that we need. And I have a little bit more magic to share with you. So thank you so much for doing these practices. And it's really just my greatest honor to be doing them with you because they've made such a difference for me and such a difference for the people I've served. In just a moment, I'll put the whole practice together. And I have a bonus practice that I think Sylvia, I'm going to stop share. I think that was the correct name. I think I don't see you on my screen now, but I think it was Sylvia. I think you're going to love this practice. So if we have time, I'll share a bonus. Okay, yes, it's Sylvia. Okay, I'll share a bonus practice and we'll put all the tools together. But before then, we're going to do prizes, next steps, and integration. Okay. So in just a moment, we're going to have our prize wheel. But before then, we're going to look at what's coming next. Okay. So just a reminder, Vive gave an amazing prize in our first session. She does somatic work, so in the body. So if this has been a challenging practice for you, you can look at our juicy prize site that Inacia will put in the chat right now. And she is amazing for somatic work. Our prize from week 2 was Ann Wilson, and she brings light and high frequency energies towards situations in our lives that are just really feeling stuck. So if you have one of those and you would love some light language for that, you can also check that out in our amazing prize site. And then in just a moment, we're going to hear from Inacia for this glorious prize. Okay, so in about 5 minutes, we're going to have you put your name into the form. I just need to talk about this though, because I had one this month. Okay, and it's so good. So she uses 7 different divination tools, right? I think I have the picture here. So different oracle decks, different tarot decks, different charms, and just really feeling into the energies. We came up with a question I had for this month and really looked at these unseen realms to support me in bringing that to life and having just a beautiful, delicious month. So this is going to be your prize today. Okay. Just a quick reminder too, there's still time to win the homeplay prize. So you can actually win a 75 minute session with me. Okay. And we're going to align your work with the cosmic forces that guide prosperity, impact, and success. So we're just going to get you in what lights you up to give to this world and come up with some practical next steps. And if you're a coach or a healer, we can work on making your offerings just juicy and delicious and irresistible. So I'll tell you more about how you can do the home play prize in just a moment. But first, I would love to tell you about the Destiny Magic Experience. So, this is going to be opening up next week. You can find out all about it. And it's going to be 6 weeks to transform being a sensitive or empath into your greatest impact through 4 alchemical skills. And this is going to be for you if you're a sensitive or an empath, or if you work with sensitives or empaths, right? Your kids, your clients, your students. And it's skills that I've used for quite a long time, combined with some new ones. So I had a dark 2 years of the soul. I had a dark 2 years of the soul these last 2 years. And I was like, okay, I have lots of tools and skills, but I need something like more. I need more. And I did some even deeper training in magic. And so I'm going to bring those in as well. And these have been the ones that have been giving me like life again. So it is going to be so juicy, so delicious. Okay, so this is for you if you're someone who deeply desires to light up this world with your magic. That is a deep desire for you. You've got lots of powerful skills. You know you're amazing. And yet, you still feel this like terror in being really truly visible and using your voice. Like it's just not quite working for you yet. You're still maybe a little unsure about how to create 3D prosperity in ways that feel authentically you, right? Maybe even with clients, you'd love to be able to create more value with them. And you just feel a little unable to claim the frequency, pleasure, and magnetic presence you know is your birthright, or you want to be able to help those you serve do it in a quicker way. Okay. And so Inacia is going to put the magic list into the chat. And so that's where you can just put your name and your email if you are interested in this offering. And I will reach out to you as soon as it opens. And I have a special surprise for you if you put your name on the magic list. So you get a special little bonus. Okay. But here's a little bit more. So joy unlocks the energy of abundance, right? As well as creativity and resilience and magical relationships, right? It's all of these delicious things, right? That's what I began to discover when I switched from psychotherapy to coaching. And it really supports us to change the world, right? It gives us the energy we need to take action in powerful ways, to connect with our shared visions for humanity and our earth. So joy can just offer these amazing tools. And so the next step in the process, right? I've given you a 3-step process that will be amazing for you. And if you want deeper, right, we're going to be practicing amplifying energy in your body instead of absorbing all the vibes that you might be absorbing from outside of you, or supporting your clients or those you serve to do that. And it's going to help you clarify what makes you unmistakably you. It's this superpower being able to do this. And it's going to help you support others using your sacred gifts. So you or your clients might have so much sensitivity that your nervous system might be doing the exact opposite and you're not realizing it. And so we're going to just learn some powerful skills to change that. Okay. So these alchemical tools are the quickest way that I have found to transform your relationship with your sensitivity, your capacity to receive, that could be pleasure or money or support, and to deepen how you support and serve others. And we're going to be amplifying joy in your body, connecting with your intuitive desire, expanding your havingness level. Ooh, this one's so good. This is one of the ones I dive deep into in the last few years. And we're going to be sparking your destiny code. So that's what we're going to be doing together. And you can join the magic list for a special treat. And I'm so honored to be excited to share this with you, because Kathleen actually doesn't do one-on-one sessions normally. We have a dance that we do together where she supports in the coaching containers that I hold, and she will do, thank you, Kathleen, and I hope we get to do it forever. She will do astrology sessions for clients of mine, but in general, she doesn't offer one-on-one astrology sessions. So you actually will be entered to win a Nodes of Destiny astrology session with Kathleen. And so she'll look at the shift in the Nodes of Destiny. She'll look at your Nodes of Destiny, and it's going to be yummy. Okay, so join the magic list. Inacia is going to put that in the chat one more time for us if that's something that calls to you, and I'll reach out to you as soon as this is ready. And we're going to have different times. I know this is very late for some of you. So we're going to have different times to welcome in our global community. And you'll also receive so much from watching the replays, right? You'll get the scripts, you'll get the practice instructions, you'll get all of the deliciousness. So I'll let you know all about it next week. And I'm so delighted to share this with you. All right. And just one more quick note, this experience is included in one-on-one coaching with me. So if you have been wanting to work with me for a while and you're like, which one? You can have both. So if you'd like to explore that, you can book a free Sacred Gifts breakthrough session with me, and we'll we'll dive into how I can best support you, and it'll be delicious. So I am so honored, and I'm taking one client, one client for next month and one client for the month after, if that's something that calls to you. All right. Prizes. Okay, so I'm going to share the home play. We're going to do Ignatius prize. It's going to be amazing. Okay, so for your home play, right, this Destiny Magic coaching session, post your home play in the YouTube replay. So if you did week 1, you have one, you've been entered once. If you did week 2, you've been entered once, and you still have week 3. Okay, so I'm going to put everyone's name on the wheel. So you might have your name on there like 3 times, right? If you did it every week. So post your home play in the YouTube replay and then fill out the brief form to let me know that you did your home play. That'll go out in the email. So you'll have access to that then. And the week 3 home play is a moment of joy or celebration, what you did to create that moment, right? The actions you took or the choices you made, and how others or life itself also supported this moment. So that is going to be your week 3 home play. And now, the time I know that you've all been waiting for. Can we just give it up for Inacia, who has just been a rock star during this experience? Like, thank you. We had some thank yous in the chat for Inacia. So she is amazing. She is a psychic intuitive. Just going to move this. She's a psychic intuitive advisor and healer. And since childhood, she has acted as an oracle and a messenger, bridging our physical seen and metaphysical unseen worlds together. She offers her divinatory services through multiple modalities, offering a firm grasp of what is being discovered, bringing shadows to light and you into the fullness of your power. And so Inacia is going to speak just a little bit about this juicy prize, and then you'll get to put your name in the form for our prize wheel.
Yes, thank you so much, Anna. This has been amazing. I love this offer. This has been 7 years in the making, this monthly maps, and I'm excited to offer it. It is a way for you to be able to feel like you have a grasp on what's coming up next, and especially for the month ahead or even the next 30 days ahead. And I've taken a lot of different tools as far as oracle cards, tarot cards, and even charms and created different questions for each of those tools. So there's 7 tools that I use and then 7 questions. And in that, we are shaping this kind of landscape of like how things are going to turn out or show up for you. There's more details if you go ahead and check out the secrets, the prizes page that Anna has. But specifically, I love that the monthly maps focuses on themes and focuses that might turn up for you in the month. And then it breaks it down like moment to moment, like what kind of journey you're going to find yourself on, how you can take things with you for the month and enhance them, and even how you can release things for the month and let them go. There's going to be also surprises. There are going to be communications from divinity itself. And so just each of these moments of like building this larger and larger way for you to be like, okay, I can go into this month feeling powerful and having this recorded reading that you have after our Zoom session. And you can go back and enhance each moment as you continue to walk through your month. So definitely excited for whoever wins that, and special discounts through the next 2 weeks through the Lions portal of 8/8. So I'm excited to offer this. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you for my reading. You're seeing all of you are seeing my reading here on the screen, and it was just fantastic. So this is amazing. Thank you so much, Inacia. And then, as always, we're going to pull the actual prize in at the end of Kathleen's astrology section. So go ahead and pop that in, and I'm just going to finish this up here as we do. It's so fun. So, okay. All right. So what we've been doing today, or for 3 weeks, is module 1. We did joy in the body, right? Feeling heartfelt, positive emotions in your body. That's your body set, right? Then we did practicing power, owning your part in creating these beautiful experiences. That's your mindset. Then we did evidence of magic, right? Looking at what others in the world, like how they help us create magic. That's opening to receive the resources already present so more can flow in. And that's your heart set, also your spirit set, I would say. If you have any questions, you can always email me and I'm happy to do my best to answer them. If you want more on the science, I do have a beautiful video. It's free that can tell you more about this. I'll link it into the description below, and I'll link it also into the email. I forgot to say too, if you're just finding us randomly on YouTube and you're like, "This is amazing. How do I watch the first ones?" That will be underneath as well. So you can find out all about that underneath this video. And I'd love to just take a final integration before we go into astrology. Just what are you learning? Especially how can you apply this? How are you committing to apply this? Are you going to use it with your kids? Are you going to use it with your partner? Are you going to use it with yourself? And then this is our bonus practice here. This is the one that I just need a little more juice, right? I've been doing these practices for a decade. And last year, my dark year of the soul, I was like, I need a refresh. And so I started doing this. And oh my goodness, you guys. So I just began making wishes and I noticed when they came true. So I would write down a wish. I like have a wish journal and I would be like, oh man, I really wish, I have more like skirts than I can hang up in my closet. I really wish I had more like pants hangers. And then I would walk down the street and there would be like someone would have given away pants hangers. And I'm like, okay, evidence of magic. I'm like, wow, something's like really loud in my yoga class. I really wish the teacher would like close the door. And then someone's wrestling in a closet that I've never even noticed existed. And she gets up and closes the door. Like, okay, evidence of magic. So it doesn't have to be these big things. It can just be these small things. So making wishes and noticing when things coming true. That's one way if you want to deepen your practice. Okay, that is everything I have for you today. I know we're a little over, so thank you for your patience. Thank you so much for all of the thank yous for Inesha. She's been a rock star. Thank you for filling out the prize wheel. And yeah, I'd love to. How are you going to apply this, right? What's your sacred action for how you're going to apply this? And then we'll move on to astrology. Are you going to use it? Are you going to make a wish journal? Are you going to make a joy journal? Are you going to um, do your home play 3 this week? I would love you to. It would make me deeply happy. Are you, how are you going to apply this to your life? Yes, Linda. Yes. Make both a wish and a joy journal. Yes. And they work great together, right? I always do my joy first, and then I make the wish from that elevated space. So that's how I do it. Joy journal sounds amazing. Yes, I have one. I have to keep getting new ones, right? Because it's been a decade. And I just write every morning. Sometimes I do the joy in the body. Sometimes I do how I create it. I kind of rotate. Um, but it's medicine. It is truly medicine. Okay. I will try not to forget my body ever. Yes, Elizabeth, amazing. And one of the ways to do that, right, is to make it a practice because life happens. So when it's a practice, that becomes easier. Marla, I'm going to keep a joy and a wish journal. Yes. Yes, highly recommend that. I actually have them in the same journal and I just one I do on one side and one I do on the other. And when they meet in the middle, I know it's time for like a new journal. Um, okay. Um, Continue with the joy journal and start a wish journal, says Gloria. Amazing. Romaine, practice the 3 parts even more consciously. Yeah, the power part is phenomenal. Yes. Yes. Sorry, my microphone just went away for 1 second. Can you hear me? Okay, just fantastic. So yes, the power part is very, very helpful. And we can even start being like, I've started doing it more on an identity level. Like, I took my walk this morning because I'm a woman who values my worth. Mm, right. So you can start with the basic, I created the effort, whatever, but you can also go into the identity. Okay. There's so many more here, but we need to go into astrology and just from my part of this. Thank you with all of the love in my heart for taking in these practices. Thank you for using them in the world to make the world a better place and to just have more deliciousness. Yes to more yumminess, sparkles, deliciousness. Yes to lighting up the world with our magic. Okay. All right.